Hey everybody, our lesson today is on mixed numbers, part 4. Today we are subtracting mixed numbers with like denominators and regrouping today. Mixed numbers are numbers like 3 and 2/8 and 1 and 5/8 that have a whole number and a fraction. Like denominators means that the bottom number is the same, the denominators. And then regrouping is similar to like when we have a subtraction problem like 42 subtract 18. We start with our ones. 2 subtract 8, you wouldn't be able to do that because you cannot take 8 from 2, so you would borrow or regroup. The 4 would become a 3, and you remember the 1 would come over here and join the two ones to make 12, and then you would be able to subtract. 12 take away 8 is 4, and then 3 take away 1 in the tens would be 24. It's a similar idea here. We have our fractions in this column. I'm just going to put in yellow. And then our whole numbers in this column here. And you want to look at it in that way. All right. So here we have 3 and 2/8, subtract 1 and 5/8. We start with our fractions. And notice that 2/8 is less than 5/8, meaning that we cannot subtract. So we're going to regroup or borrow from our whole number. So I'm going to cross off the 3, just like we did over here, and that would leave us with our two wholes. The 1 that we take is coming now over to the fractions, but notice the 1 is still a whole number. You remember from our whole number lesson that a whole number is equal to the same numerator and denominator. In other words, 1 whole here would be equal to 8/8. We're going to add our 8/8 because now we've turned it into fraction form. We're going to add that to the 2/8 that we already had. 2 plus 8 is 10, and then it remains 8. So now we're working over here. We've turned the 2/8 into 10/8 by adding 1 whole and turning it into a whole fraction. Now we're going to slide this over. I'm just going to rewrite it just so that we can clearly see it. And now I can go ahead and subtract. So we are good to subtract now. 10/8 minus 5/8 would be 5/8. And then go back to our wholes, right? 2 minus 1 is 1. So our answer would be, I'm going to write it over here, 1 and 5/8. So that's what we mean when we're talking about regrouping. We could show this on the models as well. 3 and 2/8, 1, 2, 3 wholes. And then the 2/8 is our 1, 2/8 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we want to take away 1 and 5/8. We could show it like this. Take away 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then 3, the original 3 take away, we're taking away 1. And that would leave us with 1 whole, right? And then this one is completely gone as well. And we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a way of showing it with your models. When you subtract mixed numbers with regrouping, it's really important to plan out your work, organize yourself. I like to stack them one on top of the others. It's not the only way you can do it, but it's a really good way to do it, to keep organized. Make sure that you have lots of space to work. If you really have a lot of other problems or you're just in the margin, make sure that you have paper to work on. Our steps are easy. We're going to borrow and regroup, right, from the ones. Turn that 1 into a whole fraction. We'll get to that in a second again. Add your whole fraction to the top fraction, and then go ahead and do your subtraction. Okay. 4 and 2, 6, minus 1 and 4, 6. So these are both mixed numbers. We start with the 2, 6, and we cannot subtract 2, 6 and take away 4, 6. So we're going to go over to the whole numbers, take 1, which would leave us with a total of 3. That 1 comes over here to the fraction side, but it has to be turned into a fraction. To do that, we're going to make a whole fraction. We're using 6, so that would turn into 6 6. Then we're going to add it to the fraction that was there. Remember, we need more. 2 plus 6 equals 8/6. And now we are good to subtract. A little happy face here. 8/6 minus 4/6 would be 4/6, right? And then in our whole numbers, 3 minus 1 would be 2. So our answer would be, just to kind of putting it together up here, would be 2 and 4/6. I could show that in the models as well. Let's see, we had 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 6. We were taking away 1, right? And then here, we're taking away 4/6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, which means that that one would be gone. Our answer would be 1, 2 wholes, and 4/6. 1, 2, 3, 4 are shaded out of a total of the 6. Let's try it without the models this time. 12 and 3/12 minus 5 and 9/12. Well, we start with our fractions and you can't do that, so we're going to simply borrow. That would leave us with 11. The 1 comes over to the fraction side, but it needs to be turned, it's a whole number and needs to be turned into fraction form. So I'm going to show it over here. We're using 12ths, and that would equal a whole, 1 equals a whole fraction. Remember, the whole purpose of doing this is to get more. Well, we just got more, and we're going to add it to the 3. 3 plus 12 would be 15. 12ths on the bottom stays the same. Now we're good to subtract. 9/12. And now we are ready to subtract. 15/12 minus 9/12 would equal 6/12. And then we go back to our wholes. 11 minus 5 is 6, which we want to scooch over here for our answer of 6 and 6/12. All right, everybody, today our lesson was on mixed numbers again, subtracting mixed numbers. But this time we had like denominators, which means the same bottom, but we had to do regrouping, which is similar to what we do with whole numbers when we have to borrow from the next place value. If we didn't have enough, we took borrowed 1, we regrouped, we turned the 1 into a whole fraction, right? Added that to the fraction that we had. Then we had enough, subtracted our fraction, and then subtracted our whole number. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.